Come join us on the Black Women in Grants page on TikTok. Would love to have you. Hey, Black Women in Grants, that's in the mentorship program called the Grant Game, who watched this video this far. Girl, I am so proud of you. Keep watching, boo. And hello to all of our live TikTok watchers that will be joining us shortly. We're letting TikTok do its stuff thizzle here. And we're going to dive into talking about some grants. I done had some coffee and I think I'm grown, so here we are. Y'all come on in. Say hello. Let me know you can see me and hear me. Well, you can see the screen, but you can hear me talking to you. And we can definitely talk about grants, getting grants, finding grants, applying for grants, how to get, find, and apply for grants, all the things. I'm just sitting here in the living room on the couch, by the window, people watching, well, bird watching and squirrel watching for now. We got 2 new woodpeckers in the neighborhood. Trash man just came, so I'm staring at my empty garbage can I need to bring in from my curb. I'll go get it in a minute. Or I'll wait till the mail person comes so I can do 2 at 1. Don't judge me. Well, you could judge me. That's fine. Good morning. Come in, come in. Say hello when you come in the room. Let me know if this is your first time being here. Are you new here? Yeah. Put hashtag FYP if you're new here. And welcome, new here's. If you're old here, put hashtag FYP and let me know you in the house. You count. Your presence is appreciated as well. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Jacqueline. Real quick, tell me about your businesses. Are you seeking grants for your business? If so, what business are you seeking grants for? My name is Dr. AJ Austin. Oh, it feels so good to say this. I, as of 2 days ago, am officially an awardee of over $63,300 in grants and sponsorships and subsidies and bursaries and contests and giveaways and what am I missing? All the things, free money to run your business. Boo. So I'm excited to share with you guys what I know. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer those questions. But let's chat, I have a notebook full of topics we can talk about. I have a new book on the screen full of topics we could talk about. I think I'm almost done editing that book as of last night. So I'm proud of myself. I'm celebrating me for that. But real quick, tell me about you. What is your business, boo? I do have bars. It's just a warning, okay? So if you're new here, just trying to set your expectations. So welcome. Where my computer? Oh, there we go. Losing my computer. Any black women, for-profit, small business owners in the house? That's who this is for. Are you black? Are you a woman? Are you a for-profit small business owner? Put yes in the chat. Put hey in the chat. Put me in the chat. Put an emoji in the chat. Just put something in the chat, child. Because I like a good engagement. I love a good conversation. That's how our lives are. Imagine we on the phone, because a lot of y'all think you want a one-on-one call with me, but none of y'all ain't ready. So this is as close as we got for right now. So if you had me on the phone talking to you as a black woman for-profit small business owner to another black woman for-profit small business owner, and our whole call is just centered around you, your business, and grants, what would you ask me? What would you bring up on that call? What would the conversation be like? What would you want to know? What questions would you have? That's what this is for, okay? So let me help you. Help me. Help yourself. So if you are black, if you are a woman, if you're for profit, if you're a business owner, let me know in the chat. Jacqueline says I'm at the bottom. At this point, I cannot get my business up and running. Well, Jacqueline, whether you say you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. So if you want me to agree with you, okay. What's your question about grants or getting grants that I could answer for you? Rhea, what's your business? Any other black women, for profit, small business owners in the house that want to put what business you have that you could use a grant for? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. So, who here is in the startup phase of their business? Like, maybe y'all ain't saying nothing because you're trying to get a business started, trying to get a business off of the ground, honey, and you are trying to do your thing, but you just need to know where you fit in this grant space. You're like, I wonder if I could apply for grants even if I haven't started my business yet, or even if my business hasn't made money yet, or I haven't really been doing it that long, so I'm still in the startup phase. Is that you? Let me tell you how to know whether or not you're in the startup phase versus the other phase. There are only two phases of businesses when it comes to applying for the grants that we apply to. So if you're in a startup phase, you're in that whole pilot phase where you're trying things out, you're developing a prototype, even if it's a prototype of a service or a program, you're looking for people to help you kind of practice on them, or you're practicing on products. And so you're processing that product, that program. You're trying to get it to the point where if someone asks you about it, you will be ready to pitch what the design is all about, what it entails, what it can do, what the features are, what the benefits are. And you're still researching, you're still looking into what's going to make this product or this program or this service great. So you could still be, thinking through your website concept or trying to build a community of people who will be interested in buying your product or service. You could still be out in the market doing research about it, seeing like who your competitors are and what's the cheapest route to go to build and to sustain the business. You could be just starting or thinking through your social media concept, like what do I want to talk about on my social media? I need some content, etc. You could be looking for your focus group, people to try your product, try your service, tell you what's good and bad about it, what they loved about it, what you could do better. You're still growing your brand, again, what you want to be known for when people see your product or service. Is that you? Am I describing you? Good morning, Valerie. Maybe you're seeking community or help or support with getting to the next stage in your business because you kind of got an idea, you kind of got a vision, you kind of know what you want to do. Is that you? Did I just describe you? This is the startup phases. That pilot phase, that prototype phase, you're processing that product or program, you're trying to pitch, you're trying to research, you're trying to create community, you're thinking through your website, market research, competitors. You are thinking through your social media content. You're trying to find people to try your product. You're trying to develop your brand. You're trying to find help. Somebody help me, please, Lord. You just need that support. How many startups in the house? Put startup in the chat. Jacqueline says yes. Inspiration says yes. Any other startups in the house? This is important because this is going to matter what type of grants you find and apply for your black woman owned for profit small business. Any other startups here? Forgive me, y'all. I either got a cold or my allergies are trying to act up. There we go. Here's another way to identify if you're in the startup because we got more than two people here, but only 3, 4 people are saying that they're in the startup phase. So again, this is for black women for-profit small business owners who are seeking grants for their black woman-owned for-profit small business. As long as you're based in the United States of America, you're over the age of 18, and you own at least 51% of your business, you probably qualify for some of the grants and grant-funded opportunities that we apply to here with Black Women in Grants in our mentorship over at www.futuregrantwinner.com. www.futuregrantwinner.com is the link to use when you go see what we've been up to, winning over. I had to redo our numbers, but I know it's well over $130,000 is what I'm trying to say, over at futuregrantwinner.com. It's in the chat if you want to check it out. And I have 3 scholarships for somebodies to get blessed today to come join us, start learning this stuff from the basics of, am I a startup business or am I this other category, all the way to applying for your first or next grant, and then applying for what we call 5-figure funding. So I'm excited about that. So part two of the startup phase, that's what we were talking about, is this you? Like, startups usually have not made money or much money yet. So that's how to know if you're in the startup phase. If you have not made money yet, you don't have any customers, you don't have any clients in your program or your service or testing your product yet, you're seeking funds to start building your brand, to start marketing your product or program when it's ready. You're still fleshing out your sales strategy and your what they call your lead generation. Like, who are these people that are going to be interested in what you do in your business when it finally launches? You may be looking for a coach to hire, or a team to join, or a business training and development program that can help you flesh out your strategy. So you need some coaching behind it. You need some guidance. You need a community of like minds. You need help building out your sales plan, your marketing plan. You want to kind of mastermind with other people about your business ideas. So you're there to learn and to share resources together. Is this you as the startup? Y'all need me to recap? I need to hear from my startups. I know if you've already put it in there, is this making sense? Are you hearing you in this process? Because I'm trying to help y'all. She said, yes, ma'am, I need all of this. Okay. So if you're in the startup phase, and don't worry, non-startup people, I got you, boo. But the startups just need a little extra love. They the babies of the family. They come in here confused and whining and needing a lot of love and attention. So I'm a big sister of too many to count. And so I know to pay the baby attention so that the rest of the house can run smooth. Okay, so we start with them because they're the youngest. They new to this. We true to this. We've been doing this for a minute. So let's love on our little sisters real quick, okay? So just as a recap, how to know if your small business is in startup phase is that you haven't made money yet. You don't have customers, clients trying out your product or service yet. You're seeking funds to build your brand, to build your marketing, to build your sales strategy, to build your lead generation. You want to hire a coach or join a training and development program, get some coaching, get some strategy. You're seeking guidance of community. You're seeking like-minded people. You need help with, again, that sales, that marketing. You want to mastermind. You want to get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. You are still learning. You want people who share resources with you. You are in that pilot phase, that prototype phase, that processing the product or program that you're gonna launch. I mean, one day, right? Real soon, you swear it's gonna be ready. You're still designing the pitch for when grants and other people ask you about your products. You're gonna be ready. You are still creating your concept for your website. You got this idea to build this great community. And so you're still doing market research and researching your competitors and seeing if anything like what you want to do has ever been done before, ever in life on earth. Or are you the first one? Is it money in it? If so, how much can you make? Will you need help? Will it just be you? You're still building out your social media strategy, your content, who you going to bring on your team to help you. You're looking for a focus group, people to try out your product and help you with this brand development. So you're seeking community for support for that next phase. Who here is a startup? She says you are stepping on my toes. That's what we're here to do, girl. That's what we're here to do. That's a little tap, a little love tap. Where are my startups? Don't say you don't know what phase you in, because I'm breaking it all the way down. So, any other startups in the house? I see y'all. Now, if you are a startup, if I stepped on your toes, if I described you, if it's like we really on the phone and I knew all your business before we got there, here's what you need. Put help in the chat. If I just described you and you really want to know what to do next, put help. If you're a startup and you want to know what to do in the grant space, to start finding these opportunities to apply for grants, or you're wondering, can I apply? Do I qualify? Can I get it as a startup? I haven't made money. I haven't gotten started yet. What if? Okay, here's the first thing. The easiest, quickest way to a win for you as a startup and trying to get grants and grant funded opportunities is to look for a program called a business incubator. Somebody put incubator in the chat. INCU Bator. Incubator. You know those things where when a baby chicken is trying to hatch and they get put in these little contraptions and it has a warm lamp and a nice little fluffy mat for it to lay on, and it's a nurturing environment for it to be born. That's what a business incubator does for your business startup idea. It's programs that have received funding, whether it's grants, donations, just sponsorship, partnership support. They got checks that have been written to them already to help you birth your idea. They've already created these warm, comfortable, cozy environments for you to sit and just talk about your business. They're going to pick your brain. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to support you. They're going to mentor you. They're going to coach you. They're going to share resources with you. Now, I went through 8 of these types of programs. And over at blackwomeningrants.com, I give you all of the names of the 8 that I recommend for you as a baby business startup fresh. You can click on the links over at futuregrantwinner.com. It's built into the mentorship. This is the mentorship that we have 3 scholarships to allow you to go through getting mentored by me for a full year for only $97. It's usually $297. But also I'm connecting you to the incubator programs that I've gone through, I enjoyed, and I'm recommending to you. They made all the difference in me making close to 6 figures in the last 12 months, working 6 hours a week right here with y'all on TikTok. They started with me from concept of, I think I want to help Black women find grants, all the way to winning our most recent grant back in December, where it came with the title of Entrepreneur of the Year. And now we've won over $63,300 in grants and grant funded opportunities. And so these incubators are part of that process. You have to apply to these programs. You have to tell them about your startup idea. You have to get accepted. They give you scholarships to go through the program. That counts as funding because you didn't have to go out and find it. They were funded. Your tuition is covered. And the good thing is they build in grants and challenges and pitch competitions and contests and giveaways into all of these types of programs. This incubator program is the easiest win that you can get in the grant space, okay? So if you want to know what incubators to apply to as a Black woman, for-profit, small business owner, I have a list of 8. I've gone through 25 of them. I love programs like that, but I outgrew it. I graduated. I was a super senior in a lot of these programs. So they brought me on as a trainer eventually. They reached out to me as a speaker, as a content creator, as one of their coaches and their mentors, and they offered to pay me. So that's how long I was hanging on, because they're the perfect environment to hatch your ideas fully. It may take more than one program, just like in college, it took more than one class to finally get your degree, right? In high school, it took more than one class for you to graduate and get that degree, right? Or diploma. So think of business training and development the same way. You're going to find some training programs that can specifically help you with marketing, specifically help you with branding, specifically help you with client creation and sales strategy and lead generation. They're all different, but they all could be a really good incubator environment. And if you want to know which ones I recommend and the ones that really I'm still in, I just hang out in the background, head over to www.futuregrantwinner.com. Grab one of the $97 scholarship spots to come join us for a full year in the Grant Game mentorship, where I'm always adding to our list of incubators. And come get what you need. We're talking all things grants. And then if you are fleshing out your business idea, we've partnered with the 8 that I'm telling you about. One of them, you can go right in today and start free of charge. All you do is go and create your account and start learning and show up to the calls that they do. Free. Tell them Dr. AJ Austin sent you. The other ones you have to apply when their applications are open. And I think it's two of them on the list that I know of for sure. The applications are open right now. So they're seeking people to mentor, to coach, to train, to help flesh out their ideas. What questions do my startup businesses have? Okay, this is your last moment to kind of get it out your system. Ask me a couple questions. Talk through your startup process because we're about to move on and help our other sisters, our siblings, okay? Are there any questions about the startup process? What it is, what types of grants or grant funded opportunities you should be applying to, what to look for in these types of programs. Now, I wrote a book called Finding Funding. It's all about how to find and secure debt-free, non-traditional funding for your Black woman-owned for-profit small business. It's over at futuregrantwinner.com. It's one of the curriculum that we've built into the mentorship. And in it, I think it's page 60, there's a quiz that breaks down the startup process even more. And it breaks down your search for these types of incubator programs to tell you what to look for specifically in these programs for your business. So you need to take the quiz to flesh out, like, am I sure that this is the type of program that I want? Okay, now what do I look for in the program? And I give you a list of 25 things that I looked for when I was looking for startup programs. I've done so many that I knew from the beginning whether or not I was going to like it, whether or not I had to make my own way through it. And so see how I did it, get some ideas, and look for those that talk to you. Inspiration says, may I ask what are the chances of applying for the 8? It's 100% if you go put in an application. They are all free. And that's it. You just got to know where to go, what links to click, what to say on the application. I help you through all of that. I've done it. You can do it too. Go to futuregrantwinner.com. Get started. Shirley says, what are the best grants to apply for new startups? The ones that I just talked about with the incubators that are already funded. Because if you have not fleshed out your full idea to the point where a grant says, if you were ready to start your business tomorrow, we wrote you this check, would you be ready? Most people are not in that process of the startup phase. The easiest grant funded opportunities to win as a startup business is going through a business incubator. Y'all got it? Put got it if you got it. That is where you get in free you get in free because they're covered by grants and partnerships and sponsorships. You apply for their scholarships. You get in free. Y'all got that part right? You get in free. It's free. You get in free. Y'all got that? Okay. It's a scholarship. Scholarships usually cover partial or all of your tuition to participate in a learning platform, right? You get a scholarship. That's the key word. Free scholarship. They're designed to be like, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks long, but it's focused specifically on helping you to grow your startup idea. Y'all got it? It's an incubator. What are the chances of you getting in? It's 100% if you go apply. What are the chances of you not getting in? It's 100% if you don't apply. Y'all get it? These are the quickest ways to win funding that's already been granted. You're not getting a check yet. You're fleshing out your idea until your business is ready for the money, ready to pitch, ready to be thought out, because everything you learn in an incubator should be a part of your pitch for grants by the time you graduate these incubators, or you can apply for grants as you're in the program. Y'all get it? The grant funding is already built into these programs. They're also partnered with grants. So for example, one incubator, the one that I graduated, and they gave us Entrepreneur of the Year in December of last year, they partnered with Office Depot, Office Max. Within that 1 year journey through their program, they did a business pitch competition where you could win $10,000. That's money built within the program. You didn't have to go seek that. You just had to pitch your business and win it. They did a office furniture contest giveaway for $900. I won that. I got a desk, I got a chair, I got a filing cabinet, I got journal pen, sticky notes, highlighters, all the fun stuff that I already buy at the office supply store. Then we won another grant, a $500 gift card, because their partnership is with Office Depot, Office Max. So we went on a shopping spree inside of Office Depot, Office Max. We did a live. I brought y'all with me. These are grants and opportunities to win funding for your business that's built into these types of training and development programs. Y'all get it? Y'all got it? Let me know you got it. Because this is as simple as I can make it. It's not hard to understand. If you're not getting it, it's because you try not to. You're trying to go around. You want an easier way. And this is as simple as I can make it, okay? But if you have questions you want to ask, let me know. Over at futuregrantwinner.com is where the list of these types of programs reside when you come join us in the Grant Game Mentorship. It's only $97, one-time payment, year-long access to come hang out with us and learn about more resources like this and meet the other 250 plus women who are in our mentorship going through programs like the ones I just told you about. They're getting in those programs for free. It's about networking, connection, and sharing resources. Y'all got it? Put got it if you got it. You said, is that book blue? I don't know which. I haven't written a blue book, so I'm sure we're not talking about the same book. So no. The book that I wrote called Finding Funding is pink, hot pink and gold. Oh, do we have to pay for the applications? Not the ones that I give you, not to my knowledge, not unless things have changed and I didn't know about it. Shirley Woodward said, just joined. Manifest says, got it. Y'all got it? Good. Any questions, startups? I try to spend a lot of time with y'all because I know y'all have a lot of questions and I want to answer them, but y'all got to listen too, okay? Y'all just like, well, where the money at? You're not ready for the money usually. It'd be y'all to go apply for grants and wonder why you ain't got it yet because you wasn't listening. You was just trying to apply. Well, where do I go apply? How do I win? Okay. All right. Any other questions about startup businesses? Let me know. Because we're about to move on. Any other startups with questions about what types of grants you should be applying to, where to find the grants you should be applying to, how to win a grant. Okay, no questions. Cool. The second phase of the 2 phases of business that every grant is going to ask you about. They're going to say, are you a startup business? You're going to say, if you're a startup and you meet what we just went through of what a startup is, you're going to put that you're a startup. They're then going to say, if you're not a startup, have you started? How many people here have already started their business? Put started in the chat. Like you already have a product or a service that is either ready to be sold as of today, or you've already been selling it. It's been available. It's been on the market. It's been available to the market, to the general public. It's generating you revenue. It's making you money. You're making sales from it. So much so that if you applied for a grant today and they said, well, send us your list of customers, send us your list of clients, you would be ready. You got it because people have paid you. Any started businesses, put started in the chat. You've started, your product or service is ready. It's available to the market. It's generating revenue. It's making money. The main way to tell if you're in the startup phase or the started phase is whether or not you've made money. So if you started your business, you are also ready to pitch your idea for more funding. So you might be working on your pitch deck, or you might be looking for what is that next funding opportunity, that grant or that grant funded opportunity. You're in that what we call the try, apply, deny phase of funding. You are looking for grants. You're looking for grant funded opportunities. And so you're trying to apply, you're trying to find out where the money resides. You're looking for these resources. You may have applied for some of these. You may have been denied. You got your rejection letters to prove it. You're licking your wounds because you ain't want no money yet. Where my started businesses? Put it in the chat real quick. Now, if you're in the started phase, you're gathering resources. That's what brings you here today. You have updated your goals because you're ready to grow. And so that's where grants could come in for you. You're ready to maybe automate a portion of your business. Maybe you want to hire some new team members, whether it's part-time or full-time or freelance or contract. You might be ready for those actual W-2 employees. You may be ready to become a full-time employee of your business if you're not paying yourself your desired salary yet. So your tip is for you to stay into what we call the grant hacking phase. You're applying for grants and grant funded opportunities, just like the startup businesses. However, yours is a little different because you're already out there making money with your business product or service. And so you're looking for ways to hack into the grant space. You're like, what are some strategies that I can use as a business that's already out here growing and making money to get some more funding? And so we call that grant hacking or grant stacking. Grant stacking is when you apply for as many grants and grant funded opportunities as possible. And you too get to join special business training and development programs called accelerators. Somebody put accelerator in the chat. ACCEL, orator. Accelerator. Accelerators are programs specifically for businesses. They've been funded. They have partnerships. They have sponsorships. Checks have been written to these programs to help you as a business that has already started. You've already made money. You got the track record to prove it. You got your receipts. You got your list of customers and clients. You got an email list. You got your social media set up. You got proof that you're out making money. And these business training and development programs called business accelerators are for you because you've already started and they want to help you accelerate, put some gas on, go further and faster and more powerful together. So this is your opportunity to grow your network, to learn the game of getting grants, and to find out what grants are available for you. We got 2 people out of the people in the house that said they have started. Businesses that have started that are on here with me right now. If you're a Black woman, for-profit, small business owner who has started her business, what questions can I answer for you right now about getting into the grant game? Because in our list of 8 business training and development programs that are open, available for free to go apply to and get scholarships to today over at futuregrantwinner.com, I tell you where I went. I tell you what worked for me. What are the best accelerator programs for Black women? And that's all a part of the mentorship over at futuregrantwinner.com. Are there any questions? The started businesses are easier to help because you're already in a certain frame of mind. We're not having to educate you on what it is to start your business. You know, you've been there, you've done that. You got the t-shirt. You're just wondering how you get somebody else to buy you your next t-shirt because you're still building that business, right? You're trying to figure out ways to keep it afloat, how to scale it, how to sustain it, how to be successful at it, how to keep going, keep growing. What questions can I answer for those of you Black women, for-profit, small business owners who have started your business? Do you have any questions for me about your business accelerator programs, which are the easiest, quickest, most efficient, effective ways to win funding that you don't have to go out and fight for? Any questions? If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. AJ Austin, winner of over $63,300 in grants and grant-funded opportunities. I'm creator of Black Women in Grants, the page that you're on right now. We have futuregrantwinner.com, which tells you exactly which accelerator programs that I went through, Ingrid, and that I recommend to you if you've started your business. So check out futuregrantwinner.com. Let me put that in the chat for you so you can see how I spell it out. www.futuregrantwinner.com. If that's you, check it out. Claim one of the $97 scholarship spots that come with my list of 8 accelerators for you to join. It's mixed in with incubators, accelerators, and a checklist of how to know which ones you should be applying to. The checklist is in the book that I wrote called Finding Funding. When you take your business through the quiz, making sure that you're applying for the right type of program for you. And I tell you what to look for in these types of programs because it's what got me to almost 6 figures in funding over the last year, being right here with you guys on TikTok, working about 6 hours a week and living my life full time. Okay. So how I started getting these types of grants and grant funded opportunities, y'all want to know what I did? Put yes or talk to me in the chat. I could tell you where it started for me and why I started applying for programs like this. But let me know if y'all want to know. Y'all may not want to know. Y'all may not care. Maybe y'all over it. Maybe you got what you needed. Maybe you knew all this already. Maybe you just here to be nosy, to troll. I don't know unless you tell me. So if you want to know how I know about this, why I know about this, talk to me in the chat. Ingrid's the only one. So Ingrid, if I could kick everybody else out except you, I guess I could. I could block everybody else. Hold on 1 second. Unless they want to tell me why they really here. Should we kick them out, Ingrid? Let me know. You're the only one talking to me right now. Anybody else want to know how I know about this? Let me know. Let me see who's on here. Maybe if I call some people out. I see y'all. Okay. Cool. Shervon says she's lit. Oh, okay. Okay. We got 2 people. Okay. So how I got started learning about these opportunities, I won my first grant in 2020. It was for $1,000. Anybody here can use $1,000 small business grant? Talk to me real quick. If $1,000 was on the table today and I could show you where to go get it, could anybody use? Okay, Ingrid says yes. Okay, Ingrid, I like your quick response. Thank you, girl. Sequestered says yes. Okay. So I won. They were looking for 20 people to give $1,000 to. It was a husband and wife team. They were financial coaches. Y'all so late with these answers, multitasking. So anyway, they were looking for 20 people to bless with $1,000, and I was number 17. I could have been number 20 and would have been just as happy, right? So that came from a list of grants that one of my business colleagues sent me, and I applied to and won. And when I won my first $1,000, I was hooked. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, people just write you checks for your business? And so I sent her, my business colleague, $100 out of that $1,000 just to tell her thank you for introducing me to this world known as grants. She didn't even really know much about it to my knowledge. She was just, passing on resources, saw that it worked for me and she could get a little finder's fee. And that's how it jumped off. So here I am all these years later, having now went from just $1,000. Well, I've won over $1 million in my personal life in grants and grant funded opportunities. But being in the professional space now, and now we're at almost 6 figures in funding, just me. But when I combine it with what I've taught the Black women in our mentorship over at futuregrantwinner.com to win, we've collectively won over $130,000 in grants by our powers combined. It's really exciting. So I put all my secrets in a book. It's called Finding Funding. It's over at futuregrantwinner.com. And it talks about how when my business, I won grants and then I stopped applying as much for a little while and I just focused on getting sales in my business. And when those business sales slowed down and my rent was due and my lights, they wasn't getting ready to turn off. They were off, honey. I got discouraged. I was like, wait a minute. Now I'm used to making money. I'm used to winning grants, but here I was back on food stamps and found myself standing in the line at the local food bank again. And I was like, no, now this ain't it. It got to get better. So I knew at that point that I had to figure out what to do next to start back making money in my business. So I got back into the grant space. And I remember, having applied for grants and receiving grants and even winning scholarships to go to school. I've won hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the degree that I currently have to go to school. And so I also remember business pitch competition. So I joined the types of programs that I'm telling y'all about. Because on that same list of grants that my friends sent me were the incubators, the accelerators, the scholarships, the sponsorships, the grant opportunities. So I found more opportunities to go apply for these types of grants. And then I started helping other people apply. My first person outside of me that I helped, she applied for a $25,000 grant to travel the world and have somebody else pay for it. We didn't even know opportunities like that existed, but we learned together. And so winning scholarships, entering these business training and development programs called incubators and accelerators, winning the money that was built into these programs. I took another program that was designed. Remember, I told y'all these programs will help you with specific parts of growing your business because I knew something was missing in the growth of my business. And so I took a 7-week pitch program, meaning if I went out in front of people who had money, like an investor or a venture capitalist or a grant committee, or another business training and development program, and they asked me about my business, here's how to pitch it to get funding. So I learned how to pitch my business. I won money for pitching my business. And that led to me joining other business training and development programs. All of this is in the mentorship over at futuregrantwinner.com. My exact steps that I took, you guys get to see the video recordings of me winning the money. You see me growing my business idea for you guys, Black women in grants. I wanted to help more of y'all start doing what I was now building back up my momentum to do, and do it consistently and be accountable and get support. The support comes from these types of programs. So I started winning, receiving more grants, receiving scholarships to go through more programs. Winning, I won 2 more business pitch competitions after that. Was it after that? Girl, I can't remember. I'm losing count. I've won 2 so far is what I'm trying to say in the same year, which is a big deal. So I started reapplying. I started getting accepted into more programs, the same types of programs. I'm telling you guys, come with your mentorship over at blackwomeningrants.com, or you can go to futuregrantwinner.com. I took a variation of 25. I was so desperate to learn what I was missing in my business, why my sales slowed down, what I needed to do, how to get more funding in, how to make more money as I waited on the grant funding to come in. I took 25 business training and development programs over like a year and a half time frame. Hey, Stacy Smith. And so I completed these programs. That's why we have our list of 8 of the 25 programs that I went through. I learned a lot. My business grew. Here we are almost 6 figures later. And these ideas were birthed. Help with growing my business were birthed. And it all started with these types of programs. So that's why I built the Black Women in Grants channel here on TikTok, to find y'all. Who else needs help? Who want to learn about these things that I think are magic called grants and grant funded opportunities. And grant funded opportunities have the grants built into them with the pitch competitions, the scholarships, the contests, the giveaways, you get gifts in the mail from a lot of these programs. And so I share all that I know in our mentorship over at www.futuregrantwinner.com. I share my answers on the applications to these programs. I feature one of the most thorough applications. I think it had 75 questions on this application I share with y'all. So you have your business incubators and your business accelerators. The incubators are for the startups. The accelerators are for the started businesses that have started. I went through one of my final programs I went through last year. It's called a fellowship. That's the 3rd and highest level, because I told y'all I was a super senior. I went through 25 of these. So I completed a fellowship, and that's the one that asked me 75 questions, because by this level, you should be prepared to answer as many questions as necessary for your Black woman-owned for-profit small business, right? So I put that application, the 75 plus questions, plus the answers, because my application was graded. Y'all get to see my score. You get to see how I answered their essay questions. You get to see the commentary. I wasn't even supposed to see this application, but some kind of way God made it possible that I just clicked a link one day and I'm like, wait a minute, that's my application. That's my grade, girl. It's the teacher's answer. Let me download this real quick. And so I downloaded it and I put it in the book over at futuregrantwinner.com. So you get to see this program talk about me telling each other why they think I qualified for their scholarship to go through their program at the highest level. And then this program eventually hired me as a speaker. So I show you where I started and I show you where I am now, and I'm trying to bring you along for the journey. But you got to want to come, okay? I give y'all my answers. So check out futuregrantwinner.com, claim one of the scholarship spots, and come join us. That's what this is all about. That's how I got started. That's where I am now. I'm happy to fill in any questions that you have. So what questions do you have about anything we've talked about so far, whether you are a startup business or you've started and you're now thinking about these business incubator programs, these business accelerator programs. You're wondering where you fit, what it could offer you, what funding is built in it for you that you can go win. What questions can I answer for you? Let me know. I am the super senior who's been around for a minute on all these virtual campuses and can tell you where to go, who to ask for, and tell them Dr. AJ Austin sent you, okay? If you're new here, say hey. Let me know you're new here. If you're old here, hey girl, welcome. I'm Dr. AJ Austin. Officially, as of this week, winner of over $63,300 in grants and grant-funded opportunities, and I'm excited to share more with y'all coming up and answer your questions if you got them today. Over at futuregrantwinner.com is our mentorship program. It's called the Grant Game, and it is full of 250 plus fellow Black women in grants who are also finding and applying for grants. What about religious organizations? Ingrid, I'm saved and I love the Lord. Is that what you're talking about? FutureGrantWinner.com is where you can meet some of our fellow grant winners like Deanna Joy. Deanna Joy just applied for her first $1 million grant within the last week. I am so proud of her. She recently won $55,000, and it only took her about 90 days of getting in the mentorship program, reading the Finding Funding ebook that's in the program, and then she applied for a $50,000 grant at a credit union and won that for her nonprofit client. She applied for one of the business training and development programs. I think she did a accelerator program, and she won $5,000 at the end of her program, where the money was built in. And so you get to hear me interview her about how she won, why she thinks she won, and what y'all can do to be like Deanna Joy. She is the coolest person. Sometimes she hangs out with us here on TikTok Live, but she is definitely in the Grant Game mentorship, and you can meet her on our calls we do once a month, every first Saturday when we hang out as well. Are grants easier to find for religious organizations? I can't say yay or nay. What I can tell you is that my business, I have two that I just love and adore. Y'all are one, Black Women in Grants. But the main business that I started winning grants for, I train Black Christian women to become certified life coaches online in one day. And so that is the business that started out, if I'm doing my math correctly, we won over $50,000 in grants and grant funded opportunities for specifically that business. And we're considered religious affiliated, race affiliated. And so I won't say it's easier. I just say I got gooder at winning. Because think about it. You're applying for grants or grant funded opportunities. The people that are grading your applications, yes, we get grades. They actually use a grading scale for these grant opportunities called a rubric. They're not all your same religion. So that means that I'm telling people about a Christian-based business, and everybody on that board is not Christian. So it's not about the fact that I have a quote unquote Christian organization. It's about how well do I explain what I do, who I do it for, why it's needed, and why that whole grant committee should care enough to give me this money. So it's not about religiosity. It's not about trying to come in and convert them and get them to believe and agree with me. It's about, here's why what I do is so needed. And so the application that I share with you guys, remember I just said I got into a fellowship program. It was 10 months long. They asked me 75 questions about my religious based company. The same questions they asked all 100 other people that got in this program. And we were only, they said only 13% of the people that applied got in. So I got in as a fully saved, baptized, Holy Ghost filled Christian company, but I didn't come in talking about thee, thou, and thou in scripture. Now it comes out in conversation, but I got in because they told me, because I asked them, why did I get selected for this as a Christian organization? And they told me, we see your vision goes beyond just you. So it wasn't like everybody in the world need to be saved. Hear me now. I was not on a soapbox, because the word says he who wins souls is wise. So you got to activate that wisdom. It also says he gave us the power to get wealth with these hands. You better get on there and type the right things and tell the right story to get into these rooms and to start winning these funds. So when you think of it like that, your vision is bigger than you. It's about a legacy. It's about the impact that you're making. It's not just about you. This is what the grant that gave me the check told me why they chose me. They didn't say, because you're a religious organization, we gave you this. No, they said, we love how you tell your story. And we love that we can see your impact beyond you. I said, oh. So that helped me to tell better stories. So it wasn't that it was quote unquote easy, because again, everybody ain't your same religion. But when you get good at telling that story, why you started your company, why you do what you do, who it helps, why other people should care, and why they should write you the check, that's when you get better at applying for these opportunities and beating out competitors, other non-religious organizations. I beat out nonprofits, got the same funding, etc. So I hope that helps. Any other questions? Y'all let me know. Any other questions about anything that we've talked about so far? And grants are not necessarily easy or hard. You just have to know how to play the game. And that's why our mentorship over at futuregrantwinner.com is called the Grant Game, because there are rules to the game. Like, you have to know how to tell a good story. There are rules to the game, like your vision has to align with the vision of the grant or the grant funded opportunity. Another rule is that they have to understand why they should choose you. What is your objective in applying? What is your objective for being in business? What is that vision? What is that mission? It all has to make sense behind the funding. And so when you learn how to tell your story, that's what makes all the difference. And that's what we teach in the mentorship. And so when you visit futuregrantwinner.com, you're going to see everything else that comes in the mentorship. We talked about the book that I wrote called Finding Funding. It's the ebook, and then it comes with an app that'll read the book to you. Shy, she was on here with us yesterday. She emailed me and said, I just started listening to the ebook. She was so excited to get started because she could listen at work and multitask and all that good stuff. And so that's one of the features of quote unquote reading the book that has a lot of my other secrets in it, as well as your list of the 8 business training and development programs called incubators and accelerators that you can go apply to and get in based on the needs of your business. And you're going to compare it to the answers that you get in the quiz that's in the book on page 60, telling you what type of incubator you need or what to look for in the incubator, using my list of 25 things that I looked for in these types of programs, the incubators, accelerators, etc. We also give you 3 lists of grants. So if you want to just skip all of this and dive into trying to apply for grants for the first time on your own without going through any of the other training, you could do that too. I mean, you can go in head first and try it You never know. You could win. But also, if you take your time and go through what I teach you in our master classes, in our training events, and the replays for those, in the book, in the audio trainings, and we have some other fun learning activities there. It's about 24 total hours of learning time. By the time you finish that learning, you will know how to play a better game. And you can go into these grant applications, grant funded opportunity applications, more confident, more knowledgeable, knowing the rules, how to play to win, having what we call a grant application strategy, which makes you more competitive and it makes your application stand out more. So hopefully this is helping and making sense. Hello, Ruth. How are you? Are there any questions about anything we talked about so far? So far, we talked about how to know if your business is a startup or if you've started, what those characteristics are of those two types of business categories. What are the easiest, quickest grants and grant funded opportunities to go apply to, which are your business incubators and accelerator programs based on if you're a startup or you've started, because grant funds are built into a lot of these programs. We've talked about how to get a list of those programs over at futuregrantwinner.com. We've talked about how grants aren't necessarily easy to win. They're not hard to win. You just have to know how to play the game, tell better stories, tell your vision and mission very clearly, align with the grant and what they're looking for, and let them tell you why they chose you or not. There's also a way to get feedback on why you may have gotten rejected or not chosen, and how to use that as a learning opportunity to make your next grant application even better. So the name of the game is getting better at playing the game, just like Uno, just like Monopoly, just like Trouble and Life and Spades, the games we grew up on in the Black community. We got better because we played better. We played with more experienced players. We learned from others. And that's what the grant game is about. Being in the same room, getting that accountability and exchanging resources from others who are getting better at playing this game to win as well. So I'm here to get you started with that if that's something you can see yourself staying committed to, because it is a process and it is factored into. Like, I look at grants as I want to add an extra 10% of revenue to my bottom line by the end of the year. And so that's when I go apply for these types of opportunities. And then I have to stick true to my vision, which is to help educate, to give back, to serve my people, Black women. And because I can show a grant that that's what I do with their money, that's called social impact. And that's really why they write me checks. So I share my secrets with those of you who want to come play the game as well. Are there any final questions before I go? Any final questions about anything we talked about so far? Well, if there are no questions, thank y'all for being here. I'm Dr. AJ Austin. Make sure you follow this page. Turn the notifications on so you get notified when we go live. I'm usually live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am in full recovery mode from 2 blood transfusions recently, so that's why I'm off screen, taking my time, but still showing up for you guys as I rest and heal and recover, but still spending time with y'all, helping educate you about the grant space. So I am getting weller and weller every moment. Thank you, Ruth. Until we meet again, my friends, remember that there is someone somewhere, and they're waiting on you to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs, because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. And when you impact one life as a future grant winner, you impact generations. Yep, weller and weller every moment. Thank y'all for being here. I just finished breakfast and coffee while talking to y'all, so I appreciate you. Now I'm about to go, I don't know, not too much. I'll see y'all really, really soon. Check out futuregrantwinner.com, www.futuregrantwinner.com. grantwinner.com. Claim one of the scholarships that are there to come join us in the Grant Game Mentorship. Learn the rules of the game, how to play, so that when you play to win, okay? Y'all have a phenomenal rest of your day. I'll see y'all real soon. God bless. Bye, y'all.